What's up, guys? Thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time with us, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell icon for notifications. If you're into anything automobiles or tuner cars, this is the spot for you. Today we're going to take a look at what it's like to daily drive a full bolt-on modified Honda Civic Type R. Stay tuned. Alright, so today we're a little bit a ways from our usual spot from where I normally film these things, just because it's early on Sunday morning and I don't want to make it too loud for the neighbors. I'm trying to be courteous to them, but as a little bonus, we got some neighbors, some other new neighbors here joining us today. Say hello. Check these guys out right here. Look at the looks on their faces. They're like totally judging me right now. Alright, so just to go quickly over the mods that are on my car to help you guys understand what I'm living with on a day-to-day basis. So right now on my car I've got the K-Tuner V2, Mishimoto intake, Mishimoto catch can, Remus full exhaust, RV6 high flow catted ceramic coated downpipe, PTP turbo blanket, Mishimoto intercooler, Hasport rear engine mount, the 62A variety, and a Mishimoto weighted shift knob. Okay, and then just doing a quick walk around the car. I know some of you have seen this quite a bit, but I just want you to understand in my head where I think, for me personally, the limit would be for a comfortable daily driver Honda Civic Type R that has been modified. So visually there's not really much that's been done to this car. You can see the really nice Mishimoto front mount intercooler in the front. Thing is huge. Video on all of this stuff being installed, guys. If you haven't caught any of it, I'll post a couple of them above, but go check out my channel and get caught up. But suspension is stock. I have not lowered the car. I have not put wheels on it. More on that later. Just walking around the back here. So the only visual difference back here is a Remus exhaust. Of course, my custom license plate. And that's it. Other than that, on the outside, the car looks just about stock. Now, I did this on purpose, and I made this video at this point in my build on purpose, because I think for a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people that are thinking about modifying this car, they want a little extra power, maybe a little more sound, which I've gone over a million times in my videos, just to get a little more enjoyment out of the car, but not necessarily go crazy. The car handles amazingly from the factory, so unless you're going for a look, there's no need to lower this car, or unless you plan on tracking it and you are going to need that little extra suspension tweak to help you with your times. There's no real need to modify the wheels or the suspension on this vehicle. Okay, so now walking into the car. As of right now, the only visual mod is this Mishimoto weighted shift knob, which is really nice. You know, that might make your daily drive a little more enjoyable just because it is weighted. It does make the shifts a little bit smoother, a little bit easier to get through the gears, although it was never really a struggle to begin with. It's more of a looks thing. I actually did choose a weighted shift knob for a reason. Again, more on that later. But other than that, there's the interior is stock. Okay, so how does all of this translate to daily driving this car? I want to demonstrate to you guys today what the car sounds like now after the modifications, because I can't overstate this enough, but it sounds so perfect. And you guys know how much time I've spent on trying to make this car sound a little more exciting than it did from the factory. I think we're there, guys. You guys caught a short glimpse of that when I had the downpipe swap video comparing the two. You can catch a sound clip of it there. I'm going to give you another one today. But I really like where the sound of the car is, and having the Remus exhaust with the adjustable baffle where you can tune the sound up and down is so key in this build. I couldn't be happier for the way things have come together. So anyways, enough talking for now. I'm going to do a cold start. I'm going to put the camera back there so you guys can hear what it's like starting the car with the baffles all the way closed on the Remus exhaust with the modifications that I have. Alright, so that was the sound test with the baffles all the way closed on the Remus exhaust with full bolt-on mods. Okay, so now I've got the high flow catted downpipe on there with the Remus exhaust. The baffle was all the way closed. And I'm not going to do the crazy elaborate sound test like I did before with all the decibels, but just know, revving it to max range, it only produced 88 decibels, which is still nicely below the legal limit. All right, that being 95 for California. If you guys haven't caught that video, again, check out my stuff. We got a lot of information for you guys. All right, now I'm going to open the baffle again just to give you guys a sound, see what that sounds like, and I'll give you a max decibel reading on that as well. Alright, so as hopefully you guys can tell from the video, I can't imagine any sound from this video is going to do this car any justice, but it sounds so good now. So that's a baffle all the way open, and you know, this exhaust and the setup and everything I've got done in this car continues to surprise me. So revving it to 3,500 RPMs, it still only produces a max noise level of 93 decibels, which is still below the California legal limit. It just blows my mind, guys. And this is my first time doing this test. So, all right, so that's the sound test. I'm going to give you a couple of clips of drive-bys just so you can see what that's like sound-wise. And then we're going to hit the road and do a little drive inside the car so you see what that's like. Alright, so that was fun. Alright, so now we're going to spend some time in the car. I want to demonstrate to you guys what it sounds like in here and go over, describe to you what it feels like driving a car that's modified in this fashion. First, I'm going to start off with the baffles all the way closed. I'd say this is probably, I'll use the baffle all the way closed on the Remus exhaust when I'm exiting the neighborhood and when I'm pulling into work. But the nice thing about having that adjustable exhaust is you could flip it open anytime you want, get a little extra sound, and it's perfect. But we're going to start with it closed. All right, white dot, that means it's closed, so let's head out. So before we take off, what I'm going to point out is the Hasport rear engine mount. It's a 62A polyurethane bushing that's in this mount. It's a really beefy mount. It's a lot thicker than the stock mount. There's a picture of that when I was doing the install on one of my other previous videos. But the reason why I got that mount was to make better use of the power that I'm now producing. It really keeps the engine from shaking around, and when you can reduce the amount that the engine is shaking around, that helps the power of the engine get the power to the wheels and to the ground a lot better. When you don't have a lot of weight shaking around like that, the car's suspension can do a lot better job of making sure you're staying in contact with the road. So that's the main reason why I got it. But you have to understand, whenever you're changing mounts and putting stiffer mounts in a car, you are going to be introducing more NVH into the car, which is, in layman's terms, just means you're introducing more vibrations into the cabin area. Now, I was a little hesitant about doing that mod at first, but I know I wanted the performance, so I was willing to take the risk. And I can tell you, after 1,000 miles of driving with the engine mount, it's everything that everyone told me it would be. It softens up. So the only real extra vibration you now get out of the car with that rear engine mount in is from initial startup and from a cold start in the morning. The first 10-15 seconds of the cold start in the morning, it's got a little more vibration in the cabin area, but after that, everything smooths out. When you're starting from a stop, there's a little bit of extra vibration when you move off the line, and then it's gone. And then it goes right back to feeling like a regular Civic Type R. Again, I can talk all about this stuff all day long, guys, but I know you guys are anxious for the drive. Let's go. But off the line, it's fine. Baffle is closed. You know, it's a great sound in here, but nothing too loud, nothing obnoxious. You know, and I think sound-wise, probably the biggest change that I've had in the vehicle since I first started modifying the car is the high-flow catted downpipe by RV6. That definitely changed the sound of the car, and it's awesome. But nothing too loud. It more changed the way it sounded rather than increasing the volume, which is perfect, because that's really, you know, I was okay with it being a little bit louder, but I didn't need it to be louder. I just wanted to change the way it sounds. So this is just cruising along, you know, typical commute speed to work. It sounds like it did before. You know, when I changed to the Remus aftermarket exhaust with the baffles all the way closed, even with the downpipe, it sounds the same as it did before I added the downpipe. I mean, it sounds barely louder than a stock Honda Civic, which is fantastic. You have that option. You have that option when you can adjust the exhaust like you can in this particular setup. All right, a little bit of acceleration here to see what that sounds like. Man, and it sounds good. You know, it's like, it's not terribly muted, but it's, you know, subdued a little bit. You know, nothing crazy. The baffles are all the way closed. It sounds good, you know, and you can still have spirited fun in the car and not have it be too loud or obnoxious. Okay, So we're pulling off the freeway here. I'm going to switch it now to fully open, and we'll see what difference in sound that makes. All right, red dot means it's all the way open. Now, and even under normal acceleration, you definitely get a little more grunt out of the exhaust, which is great. All right, accelerating now. Oh man. And that's what that's one of the things that I love now about this setup that I've got in the car. You get bangs and pops and crackles out of the exhaust now. I don't know if you guys caught that on camera, but when accelerating, God, it sounds so good. All right, so just as a recap, going over what we just talked about, daily driving this car as it sits right now is totally fine for me. For some people, I might suggest you skip the rear engine mount. That's more of a track performance mod. I don't think that's going to be as much of a necessary thing for a lot of you. It's something I wanted to do because I do plan on tracking this car, which is going to be coming up soon. I got so many more things planned for this car, guys. We are so far from over. I don't think there's ever going to be an end, to tell you the truth. I hope you guys stay with me the whole way. That's it for the video today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, if you're into anything automobiles or tuner cars, smash that subscribe button. This is a channel for you. We've got so much more coming up ahead. And as always, guys, stay hungry, stay fast, stay tuned. I'm Michael Baxi, and I'm out.